I didn't have time to get some stylish underwear. Wife gave me this on my last birthday. I passed away in it. Oh, Tom Sawyer's drying out, too. You should read the new book Mark Twain's writing now.
How did you happen to fall in?
I didn't fall in. I jumped in to save George.
You what? To save me?
Well, I did, didn't I? You didn't go through with it, did you?
Go through with what?
Suicide.
Oh, it's against the law to commit suicide around here.
Yeah, it's against the law where I come from, too.
Oh, where do you come from?
Heaven? I had to act quickly. That's why I jumped in. I knew if I were drowning, you'd try to save me. You see, you did. And that's how I saved you.
Very funny.
Your lip's bleeding, George.
Yeah. I got a bust in the jaw in answer to a prayer a little bit ago.
Oh, no, George. I'm the answer to your prayer. That's why I was sent down here.
How'd you know my name?
Oh, I know all about you. I've watched you grow up from a little boy.
What are you, a mind reader or something? Well, who are you then?
Clarence Oddbody, AS2.
Oddbody. AS2. What's that AS2?
Angel, second class. Cheerio, my good man.
Oh, brother. Where's... I wonder what Martini put in those drinks. Hey, what's with you? What'd you say just a minute ago? Why'd you want to save me?
That's what I was sent down for. I'm your guardian angel.
I wouldn't be a bit surprised.
Ridiculous of you to think of killing yourself for money. $8,000.
Yeah, now just things like that. Now, how do you know that?
I told you I'm your guardian angel. I know everything about you.
Well, you look about like the kind of an angel I'd get. Sort of a fallen angel, aren't you? What happened to your wings?
I haven't won my wings yet. That's why I'm an angel second class.
I don't know whether I like it very much being seen around with an angel without any wings.
Oh, I've got to earn them. And you'll help me, won't you?
Sure. How?
By letting me help you.
Yeah. Only one way you can help me. You don't happen to have $8,000 on you, do you?
Oh, no, we don't use money in heaven.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I keep forgetting it. Comes in pretty handy down here, bub.
Oh, tut.
I found it out a little late. I'm worth more dead than alive.
Now, look, you mustn't talk like that. I won't get my wings with that attitude. You just don't know all that you've done. If it hadn't been for you...
Yeah, if it hadn't been for me, everybody would be a lot better off. My wife and my kids and my friends. Look, little fella, why you go off and haunt somebody else?
No, now you don't understand. I've got my job.
Oh, shut up, will you?
Oh, this isn't going to be so easy. Yeah, so you still think killing yourself would make everyone feel happier, eh?
Oh, I don't know. I guess you're right. I suppose it'd been better if I'd never been born at all.
What'd you say?
I said I wish I'd never been born.
Oh, you mustn't say things like that. Wait a minute. That's an idea. What do you think? Yeah, that'll do it. All right. You've got your wish. You've never been bored.
Hey guys, before we pick up where we left off in last night's episode, let's play a little trivia.
Okay. Did George ever smoke in the movie? And if so, what did he smoke?
He smoked. He smoked a pipe, right?
He smoked a pipe in one scene. He did.
He smoked
When he's walking around with Harry's papers,
Yes.
he smokes a pipe when he goes back into the building alone.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
it's like, that's one.
He smoked a cigarette outside his house.
He did. He smoked a cigarette.
Yeah, right before he kissed his mom.
After Harry's wedding reception.
Yeah, right before he kissed his mother. That cigarette breath.
You guys missed the obvious one.
Did he smoke Potter's cigar?
Yes.
Yes. Smoking a pot of cigar. That's right.
So he smoked a cigar, a cigarette, and a pipe.
At least the cigarette had a filter for clean,
This is
clean
true.
tobacco.
Healthy living.
Yeah.
It was a Carapal. Carapal smoke. What 2 times did George say, what?
Well, it has to be the time where he
goes, it's going around town that you have an affair with Violet. He goes, what?
Well, he came out of the room with that big
Jimmy
kiss.
Stewart says it the same. I know. Jimmy Stewart says it the same way twice too. He's like, what?
The second time.
I don't remember this.
Is it early?
Yeah, it's early. It's when your father had a stroke. He says, what? Good job.
Those are the little things that you gotta literally listen for.
Great job of Jimmy Stewart just saying, what?
I got a trivia question for you. The lady that was in George's, the building alone, right? The lady that worked with Billy and him.
Tilly.
Yeah, Tilly. Where else did she make a guest appearance?
The character or the actor?
The actress. She replaced someone. She was a guest. It was a guest appearance on a show from the 70s.
Oh my goodness! See, I'd have to look it up.
She took over for Alice in the Brady Bunch when Alice quit.
No.
That
You really?
Yes. Yep. I knew that a long time ago, but that's since I done my research.
We now return to It's a Wonderful Life.
So, yeah, after he shoved those papers in Ernie's face about Harry, then he goes into the bank. Then the scene with Uncle Billy.
Yeah, and
But
Uncle Billy's very proud, very, very quick to, throw it into Potter's face. And then Billy, being forgetful Billy, forgets to leaves the $8,000 in the newspaper.
This is what I have for a note. This is what I wrote for a note. Uncle Billy, forgetful, lovable old scamp, ? This mofo has wet brain from booze or dementia. How does anyone have it's almost literally impossible to forget you have $8,000 and then just forget you put it in a newspaper.
Okay, so like $8,000. What's that equivalent to? I mean, if $20,000 is $367.
A little.
I'm going to do the quick math. It's like $5 million today. Don't
So
get me
he didn't
started.
lose $800,000. He lost a fucking shitload of money.
He lost all their money they were putting in the bank.
Now let's do the math. Peter Bailey was poor all his life. Look who he had as a partner. Peter Bailey would have probably lived a semi-competent life. The guy was competent, good with money. He has this raging alcoholic brother. He probably killed his wife because I looked it up and the wife was deceased.
You notice how he never drove?
His 2 kids that he worked with.
He never drove. He never got in the car. He had to walk home. Why did
Thank God for everybody.
Because
They took his license.
in a car accident.
He had his license taken from him.
And he totally, like, George was kid gloves on him. He called him whatever old fool. What did he call him later on?
Yeah, whatever. I don't know what he called, but the guy who lost $80,000 equivalent to.
Was it a codgering something old? Yeah.
He just happened to lose him. He called him an old goat. I don't even know.
Yeah.
But
you old goat.
But anyway,
And he told him
Billy.
He's the one going to jail.
By the way, those guys talked about George having a picture of his mother and a portrait of his mother.
Yeah.
It's not weird.
No.
Uncle Billy had a portrait of her. I noticed that in his house. I'm like,
your
dead brother's widow?
And then George takes the heat for it, right? Well, he says that he's not going to go down.
George said he lost $8,000.
Huh?
Yeah, he said he took that. He said, I lost it.
Yeah.
That's what he told Potter.
And he said, you lost $8,000. But
Yeah.
Potter knew the truth.
Because Potter had it in his hands. The very character that Chris loves
stole.
Potter
was trying to send George to his grave.
Even initiated the calling the police.
So
Potter, his acting was top. Well, I'm not gonna say he was a good guy.
Top 3 characters. You said that Potter was a top 3 character. Who's your top 2? Who's your second besides George?
Mary's number 1.
So Clarence doesn't fall anywhere in that?
Oh,
That's
shit.
tough.
I didn't do the math.
That's tough. That's tough. Clarence, I think Clarence.
No, Clarence is like 3. Clarence is
Clarence
just
is definitely
falls up.
3.
Clarence is 4.
No, Clarence is definitely 3. He's not behind friggin' Potter. No way.
I'm not saying he's a nice guy. I'm just saying Potter's the acting by Potter.
I don't know. Clarence is a good actor too.
He was. Henry Travers. I think he was in 10 Little Indians. I don't know if you guys ever saw that.
No.
And then there were none. It was an Agatha Christie book. Good stuff. Okay.
Sounds good.
Enough ripping Uncle Billy. So
Now you get into the prime of the movie, the last 30 minutes.
right after. Oh yeah, he didn't go to Potter yet. Right, he didn't go to Potter. He went home. This was talk about one of the great scenes was when he went home and said, "Why do we have to have all these kids?" And it was great. But just seeing him break down, it supposedly Jimmy Stewart was really sobbing with seeing Donna's face when they do the close up of her face.
He was crying because he was thinking about his experience in World War II in those scenes. If I'm not mistaken, he actually used his grief that he was going through and channeled that grief into that movie. From what I read,
I believe it.
pissed off as he was with all the kids, he had no anger directed at Zuzu.
Zuzu, I know. Up to Zuzu, I know.
Well,
That's even
she
so
wouldn't go to
great.
bed. He tried to smother her. I know you think he was checking her temperature, but he was trying.
How dare you, sir?
But have any of you guys ever been in that moment where everyone around you is happy and blissful and all that, and there's something raging inside you that you're not letting out, but people around you, maybe not somewhat, like unless it's like your Mary, your equivalent to Mary, sees it. Do you have that experience where everything around you?
No, sure. Let's move on. No, I'm just kidding.
That's just like that internal boiling that he's demonstrating.
And they're all happy makes it even
Yeah.
worse. It
Yeah.
makes it like
Well, he's not even seeing it that they're all happy. But Mary just gets that, she has that look and she looks over at him and she sees him basically almost sobbing.
yeah.
So great. Such great close-ups of Mary in that scene. I'm just trying to think of the scenes. In the scene where George's father had a stroke, remember they show her in the bushes, they have like the close-up, and then when she first meets George, they have
So Mary's always been that backbone for him.
Oh,
Not that she's a backbone, but like that person that holds him up.
But she's great in that scene too, not asking him too much. But she asks him what's wrong when he says, "Why do we have to have kids?" and everything.
Yeah.
You know, everything is
A lot-
awful.
He hates the
I think
house, everything. Yeah.
I think a lot of people now would like press. They would just keep pressing the other person, like, press until you try to get all the, get everything out. But it doesn't work that way sometimes. You gotta let it naturally just come out. So she gave him that opportunity to kind of, vent slowly, if you will, I guess. So it would be so combustible. That's my own take on it.
So blows up and he kicks the stuff over. It's just that.
So what was all that stuff? It was like a bridge and stuff. Was that?
Yeah.
I was trying to
It's
figure
a
out what
good
that was
question.
because I guess I don't know. Was it art or was it something they were planning for Bailey?
I'm glad he didn't knock over the picture of Abe Lincoln or Peter Bailey.
Yeah.
The Abe Lincoln picture I noticed. Yes.
Fantastic. So, yeah. So then he goes to Martini's. Martini's looks like a fun place. We're going to talk about Nick's. Nick's both
is
look
good.
pretty fun. Both look fun.
Nick-
I sent that text about Nick's that you guys probably saw.
We skipped over the phone conversation with the teacher.
Oh, yes, we did. Silly, stupid people.
Yeah.
You place the anger where you can, and that anger went out to that poor teacher.
And her husband.
I always said at the end when everybody's happy and, when everything's good finally, I'm like, poor Mrs. What was the teacher's name? I think I have the wet brain right now too.
Yeah. See, I did that wet brain thing way earlier today. And then I came home and passed out. And then I sobered up like 2 hours before this thing.
I forget her name. Oh, hi, Mrs. Damn it.
They mentioned because the husband was at Martini's. He was upset.
Yeah.
He went for a drink too. That's the
Mhm.
place to go.
Yep.
Right. They got nice music. It's right. It's not scary like Nick's. Nick's is pretty scary. It's like the
Nick's
South
was
Side in
scary.
Lawrence.
I was trying to look at all the characters that were in Nick's.
But there were some scary characters, including the bouncer. But we won't get. We're not there yet. So George storms out after he Mrs. Welch.
Yeah.
Right. The teacher is Mrs.
Yep.
Welch.
Okay. There
Yeah.
you go.
Goes to Martini's, has a drink. Mr. Welch. Well, Mr. Welch.
Pretty intimidating guy. Pretty big guy.
He's a good sized guy. By the way, George sweating profusely because of the heat wave. Because of the heat wave in real life.
Yeah, it was like
So
90. 90.
Yep.
Right? Yeah.
Then he goes to Potter, and Potter really,
Gives a shit out.
Potter, yeah.
He knows.
Potter basically alludes to the fact that he thinks that he's having an affair with Violet.
Then we get to the end.
Crashes into the tree.
That's right.
The what?
That tree for how many generations was that tree in his family?
Oh, yeah. Then he stumbles out to the bridge, and
So this is where
wild
Clarence comes in.
I couldn't believe there was only 25, 29 minutes left. For
Yeah.
some reason, I thought there was going to be this whole long, like it's just a small part of the movie.
happens pretty fast.
Yeah.
I call it the back 30. The last 30 minutes
Perfect.
is the best part of the movie.
Perfect.
Like it doesn't, I'm thinking like Scrooge, how they go all over the place. With this, it's just like, let's get right to the point. Let's show, how bad everything will be.
Well, this is the story that God and Joseph are telling Clarence.
Yep.
So he's seeing this whole life ahead of him in a snap.
This is when Clarence shows up.
And Clarence really thought quickly when he jumped in the water because he knew George would do the same for him. He would save him because that was just George.
Clarence is money.
Clarence never, like, it's
Clarence
his
should have
wings.
had his wings. The guy, I don't know. He thought of everything.
if this
He
was a
did think of
movie
everything.
now, Clarence would have been around for 40, 45 minutes, and then you would have found out he was an angel. But right away, he's like, I'm an angel. I'm 200 years old. I died in this outfit. I read Tom Sawyer. I can't read to read Mark Twain's new book.
Yeah.
Oh, he's fantastic. So, yeah, Clarence comes out of and that other guy is another great character. I remember as a kid when I first watched it, one of the other things I loved was, the sound effect and him making the goofy faces falling out of his chair when Clarence said,
Or spitting.
I got buried in it.
And then he
I love
spit.
these clothes.
But he spit. Remember
Oh,
when
yeah.
he spit and he couldn't? It was like all over him. That was
Yep.
good. Yeah, that was good.
Good stuff. Now the best part of the movie, Nick's place.
Which has always been that perplexing. What happened to Nick? Like, why did Nick become such an asshole?
So
Very perplexing.
Nick was always an asshole because Martini wasn't there to be, because George didn't give him a house. So Martini lives off in Potter's Field or whatever.
But what's funny is he's like, oh, he was such a nice guy. When George, are you okay? Are you okay,
Yeah.
George?
Yeah.
Well, the town just turned to. I mean, you remember Back to the Future 2? Biff had that sports almanac. The town went to shit. It's the same thing. I mean, we got strip clubs, we got pawn shops, we got.
That's true.
It's just
a
they
lot of
lived in
strip-
debauchery.
There's a lot of strip clubs.
Yep.
There was more than one. What happened to Pottersville? He's bankrolling some friggin' sleazy places.
Yeah, Pottersville is got girls going.
Yeah. What was
Who's
Violet
blowing-
doing?
Violet
was
a train wreck.
She was scary on that scene. I was like, this is too much for me.
Yeah, she was a
Should have
train wreck.
punched that cop. The cop was all violent.
Then
So when he wished that they was never born, I think that's when everything got really, really good. Yeah, we already talked about that, but I liked. We're kind of. I'm gonna fast forward real quick, but like when he saw his brother's grave,
he was
and
never
then he
there to
actually
save
fell
him.
to the ice. He wasn't there to save him, and then he, in turn, if he didn't save Harry couldn't save the. What was he doing? I forget.
He shot down the planes that were coming at.
He shot down two planes that were about to land in
Kamikaze
transport.
planes, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. So, yeah, that was
I'm over
great.
Harry though. I'm over Harry. I was like, eh. You didn't
No,
save
see-
Harry, Biggie.
But what about Mary? What happened to Mary?
So
But why
all
did Mary
right,
become an old maid? She became an old maid. Like, that was such a huge, scandal. She's an old maid. It's like,
wait,
what?
that was like I had a little bone to pick with it. It's like he says, you're not gonna like this, George. And he's like, what?
I thought she was going to be married to
What,
Sam.
she's dating a million guys? No, she's an old maid. I really think he should have been like, what? That's fantastic. Why do you think I would like that news? She's never been with another guy?
Yeah, she chose to stay single for the rest of her life because George wasn't there. That's what she
Wait,
was.
fast forward too much. We're still at Nick's. We need to be talking about
that's
Clarence's drinks.
I'm sorry.
Clarence's drinks.
The flaming rum punch or something?
First, a flaming rum punch, which is a real thing. Then he does a mulled wine, heavy on the clove, light on the cinnamon. He had it like a good man.
He's like, yeah, go on. He's like, yeah.
That's what we should have been drinking.
He goes, look here, kid. Look here, fella. We only serve hot drinks here, you see.
We served hard drinks for men who want to get
Right.
drunk. So one of the best acting jobs of Jimmy Stewart was he's like, oh, hey, I'm worried about you, little fella. And then when they get kicked out of the place, kicked out of the place, and he sees that it's Nick's, George's tone turns into he's like, look, who are you? What are you doing? His voice goes down another level.
That's when he figured something was going on. He's like, is that when he said, did you hypnotize me or something?
Yeah. I heard about that.
We skipped over Mr. Gower again showing up.
Oh, Mr. Gower got
and they just
screwed.
hit him with
He got screwed the most because he couldn't stop from poisoning that kid.
Yep. He just got out of prison, right?
Yeah.
Serving 20 years.
Yeah.
He says, no, I don't know you.
He was old from the beginning.
Hard living.
Hard living. Yeah. I was going to send you that. I was looking for that picture of Mr. Gower. Did I send you that one? Yeah, I think I sent you that.
He was 35.
So yeah, then George goes to Ma Bailey's. And what's up with Ma Bailey?
Ma Bailey, something took a turn for the worse with her.
I mean, she lost the only son she ever had as a kid, and just
lost her husband.
Good riddance.
No, Harry. It's not Harry's fault that he went off and did bigger and better things. Really.
What do you mean it wasn't his fault?
It's not his fault. His brother allowed it. His brother wanted him to have a better life. Really.
And then we can all agree the best part of the movie after Ernie wildly shoots at it.
Bert wildly shoots at
it. Bert the cop, I'm sorry.
Just shoots him on the street. Look out, everybody.
Open field with all the people around him.
Pedestrians, there's all sorts of collateral damage. There would have been an inquiry. There definitely would have been some type of inquiry. Yeah, Bert wouldn't have got out of that one. So he's lucky. He's lucky. This is the alternate universe.
Yeah.
That didn't happen. And then.
Oh, that was we didn't. Did you talk about him going to the house?
No, we didn't talk about. I was just going to say that was great when Clarence pulls the disappearing act.
First, he bites him. Yeah.
So the last time you see Clarence, I think, is when he says, "Where's Mary?" Because I'm always like, that's sad. That's the last time we see Clarence after he goes, "How am I doing?" I think.
Oh, that's
yeah.
Because they go to the.
He said, "How am I doing at the house?" He said that.
Oh yeah, you're right. But then when he tells him she's about to close up at the library, that's
they go to the cemetery not to see. They don't go to see Harry. They go to see Martini's house, right? And he goes, "There is no house."
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
And they see, then they see Harry's grave, and then
he goes to Mary.
George punches Bert.
Yeah.
Bert kills 4 civilians, at least.
And then he runs to the bridge.
To the bridge. How about the music by Dmitri Tomikin or something? The sound, the score is fantastic. The music right there, as soon as that kicks in, it's just such a good feeling.
Yeah.
Bert comes. You see it snows again, and they show the way they shot the car pull up, and you just see the bottom half of it. Then he's like,
that was a great scene.
Zeus pedals.
He calls him George. He says, "You're bleeding." He's like, "I'm bleeding."
Yeah, so good. You know me. Comes back. It's just great. Then
imagine though having a life and then people you didn't have a life, and then when you finally get back to that life and that feeling must just wash over you. Like obviously it's all hypothetical, but
Mary forgave him.
It captured the moment so well in that movie.
That's why Clarence is a professional.
Yeah.
He obviously knows what he's doing. The fact that he gets screwed over for wings is outrageous. So then George, when he finally gets back to the house, it's great. He sees the kids, see all the people come in.
There's like the famous shot of the kids on his back and Mary's right there.
Yeah,
like you've seen that.
Then you see Mary come in, and then Selfish Harry comes in finally.
So
Sam Gower wiring that 20.
Sam Wainwright.
Sam Wainwright. Sorry.
You're thinking Ben Gardner.
No, I know I was getting confused. That makes me emotional every time. That one, like that line, and then Harry.
Wait a minute, you're not weeping the whole last 30 minutes because I am.
I get really choked up when Sam donates that money because.
Well, I have a question about that. It's one of my. I'm going to quickly go over a few questions I have, but yeah, fantastic, richest man.
Yeah, before we get to the questions.
The richest man. Go ahead.
I'm sorry, I stepped all over your quote there.
That's okay.
I completely, I thought someone was going to reveal the $8,000 was stolen. Like, I forgot about the fact that everyone pitches in to get him back on his feet.
Who cares about the $8,000?
Yeah.
They'll beat Potter to death. Did you ever see that?
I sent that earlier. The SNS.
I didn't even click on it because I've seen it so many. It's great. So yeah, they have Mr. Gower come in with his charges or something, and then Martini busted the jukebox. A little ethnic for me, you know. I think you'd lay off the Italian fella. But then Annie, if I ever saved up for a husband, fantastic. All of it great.
Right.
All of it. Yeah.
I save up for divorce if I ever had a husband. That's
Oh yeah. I get tears pouring down. I don't get emotional. I don't. But then fantastic. Then Harry comes, and like I said, I asked Dave, what pot chokes you up more? Harry saying the richest man to George, the richest man in town, or then you have George saying, it's a present from a very dear friend of mine. When
I love that.
My answer was a present from a very dear friend of mine, right?
No, you said something about your brother. It's obviously he meant rich, not just in money.
Yeah. So it's the brother part, yeah.
No, the other one.
Harry.
Yeah.
Well, the richest man obviously is symbolic for him being rich in so many other qualities, not obviously monetary.
Then you get the bells ringing again. Liberty Films. This is why I have a couple questions.
Shoot.
Speaking of Sam Wainwright, George was very hasty to quickly jump to his suicide plan, right? Mr. Potter's like, why don't you ask Sam Wainwright? He's like, I can't get a hold of him. He's like, maybe try again a few times. Guy probably has $1 million. He's probably a multimillionaire. Okay, I don't have the money now, but I'll have it in a few hours.
Well, he wired him $360,000. According to Mikey, $20,000. He wired him, right?
That's
so
true.
Yeah, exactly. So I said, give it to him. I said, why couldn't he get a hold of Sam Wainwright? He's in Europe. What is he, hiking in the Alps? Couldn't leave him a message and get back to him like
Mary
an hour later?
Mary got to him pretty quick.
Exactly. Oh, that was great of Mary.
We
didn't mention that as soon as George left the house, she's on the horn talking to Wet Brain Uncle Billy. Like, what happened? Give me the lowdown.
She took care of everything. She saved
I'm going to rally the troops. We're going to circle the wagons.
And George going to get. Obviously, George was in the right headspace. He wouldn't have thought of that.
Yes.
He's in full panic mode.
This is true. But again, the suicide plan, a little hasty.
Our conversation ended with this fourth episode, though our hosts feel like there were still things left untold. The last part of the movie they tried to explain, but later they said they both had the wet brain. Our host will return on Christmas Eve night to repeat some stuff, sure, but to get some stuff right. So please stay subscribed. This you won't want to miss. It should be fantastic, according to Chris.
Brady Bunch is garbage.
It is garbage.
Oh, okay. I guess we're not going to have you on that podcast.
Fab's not experts.
I wish I had $1 million. Hot dog!